From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your afternoon update.
Well, good afternoon. Taylor Plott here at the Tennessee Valley Weather Center with your latest forecast. Going into your Monday afternoon, things are looking very good out there. Definitely on the cooler side of things. Need that jacket on hand, but we are tracking some big changes coming up on Wednesday, and that does involve the chance of some winter weather across the area. Let's get right to it. Live look outside Savannah. Things looking really good. 34 degrees as we record this. This is before noon today, and again, temperatures are on the cooler side of things today. But very nice sky out there. Just some few high thin clouds across the area, and we're going to be looking fantastic for this afternoon. Temperatures already are still below freezing here in Lawrenceburg as we get close to the noon hour. Just so those high thin wispy clouds out there. A little bit of a breeze out of the northeast at 5 miles per hour. Live look at Florence on the campus of the University of North Alabama. Things still looking fantastic. Around freezing this morning. Temperatures are going to be getting up into the 40s later on this afternoon, but definitely a cold start to the morning here on this Monday. Again, right around 11:24 this morning, temperatures still in the 30s. Viper radar looking absolutely crystal clear today, and that's thanks to this ridge of high pressure that's kind of building its way in from the north, bringing that cooler temperatures, that cooler air into the area. It is already snowing off to our northwest. We have that system that's getting its act together that will kind of move to the west, and as it does so, we'll get a Gulf low that develops, and that's going to be giving us our chance for some snow coming up on Wednesday. I have more on that here in just a few seconds. Temperatures this afternoon generally getting up into the lower and mid 40s for the majority of the area. Then we'll dip back down into the 30s and 20s, so below freezing again tonight. We're about midnight, getting down to 28 degrees. Your forecast highs for today, again, like I said, generally in the 40s, 42 in Lawrenceburg, 42 in Pulaski, 43 in Athens, 44 over there in the Shoals. So definitely need that light jacket on hand if you're out and about today. Here's your winter weather watches, warnings, advisories, and we don't have anything here in our area yet, but we will be under probably an advisory at some point, either later on today or during tomorrow. But we do have a winter storm watch that is in effect off to our immediate northwest, so Parsons, Centerville, Henderson, generally along and south of Interstate 40 is where you're going to be finding that winter storm watch as of now. We do have a winter storm warning that is in effect further off to the northwest. And again, we'll be under an advisory most likely later on, either today or tomorrow. The Weather Service has criteria they have to follow, and that has a time frame in it as well. So we're not in that time frame yet for them to issue these watches, warnings, and advisories for our area here in southern Tennessee and northern Alabama. But that will be coming soon, don't worry. Let's take a look at the HRRR model for the remainder of the day. Again, just some high clouds moving on through. And then once we get into today on Tuesday, clouds continue to increase across the area. And here we go, 10 o'clock on your Tuesday night. We're probably going to start to see some snow potential moving into our area. Then it really starts to ramp up once we get into the early morning hours on Wednesday. I want you to keep that timing in mind, 4 a.m. on Wednesday. So this is happening while we're asleep, just before we get up on your Wednesday morning. If you're getting up for work, school, that time frame, 6, 7 a.m., usually when you wake up, it's happening before that. So once we do wake up on Wednesday, some places are going to see snow on the ground. Other places aren't going to see as much. As you see here, we have a little bit of a warm nose that develops like we usually have with some of these systems. So that's going to change some of this stuff over to rain. And I think that transition line's generally near or south of the Tennessee River. This run of the HRRR model has it all the way down here towards the US 278 corridor. I think that's a little too far south, but I think down there you'll eventually start off as snow and then you'll probably transition to rain. But it's something we'll have to watch for. But right now, that's showing a good snow potential for the US 278 corridor from Coleman to Haleyville down to Hamilton and further to the west. Florence, the Shoals, seeing some snowfall at 4 a.m. And this will continue to move off to the east very quickly. It's not going to be an all-day thing. This is mainly going to be during the morning hours on your Wednesday. This is 8 a.m. Still seeing some of that rain in the warmer areas here, generally off to the east. So Huntsville, Guntersville, Arab, down towards Gadsden, seeing mainly that rain potential. And then back on the western side, we're still seeing snow here from Florence to Moulton to Athens, Pulaski, Lawrenceburg. Starting to end here in Columbia and Hohenwald, maybe some flurries lingering across the area during the mid-morning hours. But again, this is just kind of a quick hitter. Once we get into the afternoon hours, all of this is transitioning out of here. And before it's all said and done, there will be some snow on the ground. It's not going to be a whole lot of snow, but it's going to be enough to give us some issues during the morning hours. Generally thinking from Savannah to Lawrenceburg, down to Athens, Florence, Columbia, Lewisburg, this swath here in parts of northern Alabama and southern Tennessee, generally between a ½ inch and 2 inches. There will probably be some areas that get a little more or a little less, but that's a good range at this moment, the way that we're thinking right now. Down to the south, I think up to an inch is possible. Some places probably more of a dusting, but you could get some areas here and there, especially closer to the Tennessee River, where you might get up to an inch of snow. And then higher totals are expected off to our northwest. That's where that winter storm warning is effect for northwestern Tennessee. Generally 2 to 4 inches, maybe a little bit more than that, is expected off to our northwest. Now this could easily change. We still got a few days to go before we get into Wednesday, so things can change, things can wobble around a little bit. So as of right now, this is what our thinking is snowfall-wise going into your day on Wednesday. The other thing that we'll have to watch for is what happens Thursday, because there will probably be some melting involved with some of the snow on Wednesday because our ground has been so warm for a while. This isn't like what happened back in January, where we had several days of temperatures at or below freezing, and that made things stick for a good period of time. There's probably going to be some melting involved on Wednesday, and then we plummet down to 15 degrees on Wednesday night to Thursday morning, and we don't get above freezing on Thursday. So there could be some icing issues on Thursday morning for your commute, and that could last through the day, especially some of those secondary back roads that really don't get cleaned off or cleared off by the snow plows, salt trucks, things like that. Those will probably be icy for the majority of the day, if not the entirety of the day on Thursday. We do go back down into the teens Thursday night to Friday morning, but we finally warm back up to freezing, or above freezing on Friday with some sun and clouds across the area. And then we continue to warm up Saturday and Sunday, getting back up into the 50s. That's a look at your latest forecast. Fred Gossage will be in later this afternoon to give you an update. Until then, have a great day.